Welcome to my top 8 guns of the year. Now, this is not the top 8 guns in the world this year, these are just the top 8 guns I have reviewed this year. Now, I have reviewed a lot of guns. If you want to go see the list of guns that I've reviewed this year, you can go to my community tab and scroll down a little bit. I posted the list. Now, one note, this will be, unless the law changes very quickly, which I doubt it will, this will be the first and only year for a while that will include handguns. Probably, because I really can't review any other handguns until the freeze is lifted, and so the handguns that I bought are the only ones that I can review. The only exception to this is I could get some different slides for my Glock and turn them into pseudo other Glocks, but it's not exactly accurate, and we'll see. Maybe next year I will review one of those types of slides, and maybe it gets into a top 8 there. But for this video, it will just be, I'll try and keep it as short as possible. A hopefully relatively quick video. I'll have some footage of me shooting the guns that I have collected. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming in at number 8, we have the Neno Olympia. I honestly have almost nothing bad to say about this gun, and the only reason it's not higher is because it's just really simple. The only thing I want from it is for a red dot mount that attaches to the bottom of the slide, or the frame, I should say, with the 2 screw holes that are already there. And then it would be such a fun little 22. As it is extremely easy to take down. It is extremely easy to shoot. My friend, who I introduced shooting to, that was his favorite gun that he shot all year. It's just such a simple little gun. It's crazy reliable, and it just works. It's just, especially for the price. It was $200. You cannot get a better 22 in Canada at the time, 22 handgun at the time, for less than $200. Excellent little handgun. And now on to number 7. At number 7 is another 22, this time the Rossi Rio Bravo. This is a very, very enjoyable rifle to use. It is maybe one of the best rifles you can hand to a new shooter, and even if you're an experienced shooter, having that manual action makes it feel like you're doing more than you actually are, right? A semi-auto 22 is great, and I have some coming up on the list, but there's something about the manual action that makes you feel cooler than you are. Not to mention, you can use different types of 22. I believe you can use 22 shorts and get a 22 round capacity in the tube. Really, the only flaws to it are that it's tube fed, which is very standard across almost all 22s, 22 lever actions. Although next year, TM22 lever action, looking very forward to that. And also the fact that it doesn't have pick rail at the top. It has the Weaver mounts, and it's very easy to get around. You just buy the little Weaver Picatinny inserts from Amazon. They're really cheap, but it's just another thing you kind of have to buy if you want to put a scope on it, because I didn't personally enjoy the irons. But other than that, fantastic gun, fantastic for new shooters, something different for those of you who already have a bunch of stuff. So, now on to number 6. At number 6, we have the Glock 24. Now, this one is a bit different than the rest. This is not a gun that you can necessarily go out and replicate exactly. I mean, you can, but you can't buy it off the shelf the way it is. Now, when I say number 6, Glock 24, I don't mean the regular Glock 24. I mean my Glock 24. The one with the 9mm conversion and the black box custom spring and or slide and all the internal changes and everything like that. This handgun, I'm not going to lie, it caused me headaches to get it perfect. But once it was there, it is so much fun. It is so nice to control the recoil on. It's a Gen 2, so it's actually very similar to the Gen 5s that got rid of the finger grooves. It's really, really cool to operate because that extra slide length means that you're not seeing, it sounds contrarian, but you're not actually seeing as much muzzle flip. Because it's so much longer, you're able to, first of all, the weight of it keeps it down. And as well, it's just the muzzle rise will not extend as high because it's the Browning action, right? So the barrel won't go as, or the tilting of the barrel won't go as high, and so you don't actually notice it as much, which is not something I can say for some of the other guns I've shot. And it's expensive, so this is one of the few guns that I love that I can't exactly recommend because it's such a pain in the ass to put together. But if you have the money and you're willing to deal with pain in the ass, you can put it together yourself and test it out, or maybe you can find someone to build it for you. And into the top 5, we have the CZ600 Trail. This is probably the nicest manufactured gun that I reviewed this year. There were literally no flaws in this thing. It was manufactured extraordinarily well. Its only downside is that its use cases are limited to fun and hiking, as it might suggest, or going on a trail. That's because the accuracy isn't, it's not what you would want out of a precision rifle. And it's a bolt action, so you're not really going to use it for self-defense. But it's super fun to shoot. It is super smooth to operate. It is extraordinarily well built. It's very, very impressive rifle. If you have the chance to use one, give it a shot. I think it is such a fun rifle. And coming at number 4, the controversy pick. Now, as James Reeves from TFB TV always says, you don't start a list with your controversy pick, and you don't put in the top 3. Now, number 4, I have the WK-181. Now, my personal experience with it was almost flawless. I didn't have any quality control issues of any kind with this gun. It was so fun to shoot. I loved using it. It is, it's number 4 on this list. It might, throughout my whole, however long I decide to do YouTube, it will always hold a special place in my heart because it was the first one I ever reviewed on the channel. But it really was excellent. It was really easy to take down. It was really easy to clean. And it had a really nice recoil impulse. It was not the most well-manufactured gun on the list. It had a little tiny bit of slop between the upper and lower. And I know a lot of people have problems with WKs in general. But I can only review what I got. And it's not higher up on the list because I am slightly taking into account others' experiences. But for me personally, it was an excellent rifle. And if you have a good one, you know how good the rifle can be. Coming in at number 3, we have maybe a bit of cheating. I have the Raven 9 and the Raven 5.56. Now, the reason I haven't separated them is because it's kind of difficult to separate the two, in my opinion. If you have a Raven 9, you should really own one of the intermediate uppers as well. It's not very difficult to switch between the two, and it is really a really cool idea the way that they've done it. And especially when that 22 LR bolt comes out, man, having a 5.56 9mm and 22, just like you would if you had AR-15 uppers and bolt carriers, is really great. In fact, this might be the only intermediate cartridge Canadian-made firearm that sticks around whenever the bans and the rewrite of the Firearm Act are overturned, because it has a place. It is really well manufactured. There are some quality control issues, which I talked about in the previous video, but overall, most people seem to be getting really good rifles. I got a bit of a dud with the gas system, but it's really hard for me to put it any higher than this because of the experiences I had, but I really can't justify putting it lower than this because it's really such a great concept, and when you look out there, almost everything you see is positive, with a few quality control issues. Again, check out the previous video for the Canadian manufacturing rant. So, that said, we're moving on to number 2. And coming in at number 2, we have the Savage 64 Precision. This rifle, I think, generated the most interest on my channel by a long shot. The shorts video of it skyrocketed, and the review and the overview and the first shot just keep getting views. And it's for good reason. It is a really, really well-priced rifle. It's a really simple rifle. It's a really good weight and balance. And it's a really good, just first rifle, second rifle, however many you have, it's just good. The only downside to it, is that if you want to completely strip it down, it's a bit annoying because you have to take off the barrel. But even then, it's only a couple screws. So it's not like you have to put in a vise and take it down. That's not necessary. It has 10 round mags, it has 20 round mags. It is a tactical kind of look, and at the price point, that's really hard to beat. It's got Picatinny straight out of the box, which has a leg up over a few of the really budget 22s out there. And it's just fun. It's just a really fun gun. I highly recommend it it's the gun I would recommend as a first gun to anyone. Whether you're trying to teach a kid how to shoot, or you're just trying to get into firearms for the first time. The Savage 64 is the gun that I recommend the most. So, now we only have one gun left, and if you've been watching for a while, you probably know what it is. Coming in at number 1, we have the SBI St22. Now, it is another 22 at the top of the list, but I have nothing bad to say about the gun, whether it's in the SBI chassis, or it's in the Tapco chassis, or it's in something else. The ST22 it's maybe the coolest Canadian-made firearm. It's not technically the first receiver set to use a top charging handle. I can't remember exactly who it is, but there are a couple in the States that did it. The difference is that this is commonly available, and it's affordable. It's only $100 more than their standard receiver set. And when you factor in that you're getting a charging handle in it, it's really not that much more expensive. When anyone has a 1022 and they're asking me what should they upgrade first, the first thing I will say is a different chassis. Because it doesn't matter what it is, pick whatever they feel is comfortable. But a different chassis, because I don't think the standard ones are that great. The wood one can be cool for specific types of builds, but for the most part, I say upgrade the chassis. And the second thing in Canada I will always say is get the ST22. Yes, it's a bit pricier of an upgrade over anything else, but it's so worth it. I personally do not like the side charging handle on the 1022. The stock one is too small, And I have an upgraded one on my i3 Armory chassis that's much more enlarged, but it's not satisfying to use. It feels very cheap. It doesn't feel like I'm charging a rifle, even if it's a 22. It honestly kind of feels like I'm charging an airsoft rifle. But the ST22 just hits different. It is really satisfying to use. It is ambidextrous, which is something the regular 1022 doesn't have. And because SBI mills the receiver a certain way, it can take 1022, I believe Remington was a 5.97 magazines, and you can buy the insert that takes Tough 22 magazines. It's damn near perfect. I have nothing but good things to say about SBI and nothing but good things to say about the ST22. And that is it. That is the last video of the year. If you've come this far, thank you for watching. If you've stuck around throughout from when I first started posting videos on the WK181, or you just joined when I started the Type 81 SR, sorry, I'll finish it next year. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. It's pretty crazy how fast the subscribers ramped up. I felt like I was waiting forever to hit 600, and then the first 400 after 1,000 came in like a month. It's really cool to see you guys like this video, like the videos, and actually find them useful. I'm always trying to do better. I wish I could do more videos. I wish I had the time to do a 1,000 round review a week. I wish I had the money to do a 1,000 round review a week. Alas, that's not possible yet, but there are some exciting videos coming up next year. I have the videos that I want to finish from this year that I couldn't, like the Type 81 SR, the GHM9, the Turkish shotgun burndown test. There's also some other guns that should be coming out next year that I really want to review, like the, what's it called? The Daria TM22 lever action. A magazine-fed lever action gun looks so cool. I also want to review, Kodiak is bringing in a Car 98K reproduction. I would buy that one in 308, and I want to see what it is. The Car 98 is one of my favorite historical guns, and while I could get it in 8mm Mauser, I can't afford to do that, and it's also not as practical. But whenever that comes out, hopefully soon, I really want to get my hands on it and do a video for you on that. And we'll see. I'm sure there's many other guns I want to review. Like I said in the Glock section, I would love to review some Glock uppers. We will see if I do that or not. I should be able to get a Gen 3 22 conversion upper that I can review. And I should also be able to review any of the Glock 17 and was it Glock 21? The 40 Smith & Wesson standard size. I should be able to review both of those. I'm not entirely sure, but I should be able to do that. But that's in the future. So once again, thank you for watching the videos. If you like this video, like it, comment any of your thoughts. I'm sure there are going to be some disagreements about the placements of some of the guns that I reviewed this year. And subscribe if you really like the content. So again, thank you for watching, and have a good day.